okay? Have you had a chance to prep all the questions?
Yes, we have had a look through them. Have you seen them?
Yeah, I've went through them 3 times.
Okay.
Very, very professional. I love it. Okay, cool. Well, I guess in that case, let's kick off. I would love for you guys both just to, I guess, oh, hang on a second. Let me just change the view here so it's immersive so that when you're not immersive, sorry. I'm just going to change it so that it's speaker view. There we go. So when you're speaking, you'll be fully on camera. Well, thank you so much for doing the interview. I'm really excited to talk to you both. I feel like you've both had an amazing life and amazing budding careers that you're kicking off with. So I wanted to hand over to you both and just say, did you want to introduce yourselves?
Thank you. Lauren, do you want to go first?
Hi, I'm Lauren Prince, and I'm 12 years old, and I'm a co-host of the Once Bitten podcast.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm Kaitlyn. I'm 17. I'm Daniel's eldest daughter, and I'm just here for the ride, really.
Well, I was going to say we should say that you are going to be hosting the Bitcoin Policy UK podcast. So actually, you're going to be a podcaster in your own right as well. So you'll be a family of podcasters, right?
Yeah.
I guess it runs in the family.
I guess so.
So, okay, I have a list of questions that I wanted to go through with you guys, but obviously your dad is a very prominent figure in the Bitcoin space, and funnily enough, you're dialed into Zoom with his name blasted on the Zoom tag. It says Daniel Prince. So I wanted to ask both of you, I guess I'll start with you, Kaitlyn. Like, when did you first find out about Bitcoin and how?
So that is a very good question. I can't like pinpoint like the exact time because it just kind of like came into our lives slowly and kind of just like took over our lives really. Daddy would start talking about it all the time, and then he got really interested in like 2020 during COVID.
Yeah.
And that's when we heard the most about it. And so that's when I discovered it, but I didn't show any interest into it because I didn't know what it was. So I would say that it was actually really recently where I've kind of gotten into Bitcoin by myself. It did take some time. I kind of saw it as a burden because Daddy would always be on to us all the time. So yeah, right now I'm just taking my time reading books and like listening to podcasts and stuff like that. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about you, Lauren?
Yeah, well, like Kaitlyn said, it kind of just crept into our lives slowly. But I think it's because of the Bitcoin podcast. Ever since I started that, I've learned a lot about Bitcoin. I'm still learning a lot. So yeah.
So you guys have interviewed a whole bunch of really interesting guests on that podcast. Can you talk, Lauren, a little bit about some of the guests that you've interviewed and who your favorites have been?
Probably, see, I'm really bad with names and I feel horrible, but I can't remember some of the names. But I remember one or a couple. John Vallis, aka Uncle Blank.
But why is he called Uncle Blank? You have to explain.
Because we call like friends uncles since our dad says, oh yeah, I call everyone brother, and we're a family of Bitcoiners, yada yada yada. So he's your uncle. I'm just like, oh okay. So we didn't have a name for Uncle Blank, so
It's Uncle Blank.
yeah, it's Uncle Blank. Yeah.
And what did you like about your interview with him? Like, which bits really stood out for you? You know he may watch this.
How long was our interview? Probably like a year or two ago.
Oh, was it that long ago? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so that was
Oh.
fully during lockdown as well, because I think he's based in Thailand, is that right? And he's a naturopath, if I remember rightly.
I think he's somewhere in Asia, but I'm not sure where.
Oh.
Maybe Thailand. Near Thailand, maybe.
So you guys were selling books for Cypherdine at the conference. Have you interviewed him, Lauren, for the podcast as well?
Yeah, I'm positive we've interviewed him. Yeah, we've interviewed him.
I'm not on the podcast. Don't look at me. But I think it would be weird if that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think.
And so, Lauren, go ahead.
I've done so many, I can't remember most of the people, and it's awful. I'm just like, they're like, oh, I came on the podcast. I'm like, oh.
So, Kaitlyn, I have to ask you, like, what do you find most interesting about Bitcoin, given you've spent some time studying it now?
What I like the most about Bitcoin is the financial inclusivity. Bitcoin can be used fully, like, underbanked, and Bitcoin can be used by everyone anywhere. Like, it doesn't matter about location or what nationality you are, whatever. That's what I like the most about it, and I think it can really help underdeveloped countries and stuff like that. So that's what I like the most about Bitcoin.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Lauren?
I would say the people. I say this every time. It's the people, because they're really kind and they're very helpful, and all of them are all funny and have like a happy spirit. So yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I'd agree. I've had a very similar experience actually in the Bitcoin space. The people have been really wonderful, and I've just met some like really fantastic people. So I guess this one I'm going to give to you, Kaitlyn, first then. What's your favorite Bitcoin book? But could also be a Bitcoin podcast. So what's your favorite Bitcoin material?
I think I'm gonna have to say The Little Hodler by Lena Siege. I love that book so much. I think it's just so cute and so fun. I was reading it, and the whole entire time I was like, oh, but it's just so true. It's so easy to understand and so true, and so it's just so forward. Like you get the point really easily. So that's what I like the most about it. And also it's just so cute.
I was gonna say The Little Hodler too.
Oh, were you? You both like the same book?
Yeah.
Nice. What age range would you say that book is for then? Is it quite a broad age range that it's appropriate for?
Everyone.
Yeah.
Well, probably for people that can read, but you know.
That's what's so good about it. It can be for every single person. I remember, well, I think you read it before me. And then I read it, and then I gave it to Dad, and like, you have to read this, and then he read it, and he had to, like, it's just such a great book that everyone can read. Even like I think a child can read it, and they'll find it really, really like it's such a cool book. Yeah. And then just not even notice, you don't even realize you're reading about Bitcoin, which is good. That's why I like the most about it. So, yeah.
Nice. And so what's the thing that you find most interesting about Bitcoin? I guess I'll give this to you, Lauren, first.
Let me have a think about this. Probably that you can send Bitcoin over in a max like of a minute or even less. Yeah. Banks, it sometimes takes weeks or months, and it's crazy. It takes that long in Bitcoin. If you have the wallet up and working, if you don't, then it's gonna take longer. But because it's happened before, and it's but yeah, if you have the wallet already up, it's gone in like 1 second. It's finished. It's amazing, to be honest. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's quite incredible to see. And I guess you guys travel a fair bit, so you really see the difference with payments with Bitcoin versus the traditional kind of financial rails. How about you, Kaitlyn? What's your favorite thing about Bitcoin? Well, you've obviously spoken about the humanitarian aspect, but in terms of like Bitcoin, is there anything else that you really like about it?
I think the fact that it's decentralized, and it's just, you've got way more freedom than you would usually have with banks and stuff like that, like Lauren mentioned. And I think it's just a great concept.
Yeah, agree. I think we can all agree on that. So you've both done several conferences. You've been to Miami, you've been to Prague, and a whole bunch of others. Can you talk to me, both of you, about which has been your favorite and why?
First.
Miami.
Miami, yeah, we did the same one.
Probably because working with Safe was really fun and an experience. And staying with Uncle Chad, Michael Saylor. That was really fun.
Can you talk about that? Just explain to people what that was.
Sorry, what was?
So you said with Uncle Ted and Michael Saylor. Can you explain to people what you did with them?
Yeah. So Uncle Chad is Michael Saylor. We call Michael Saylor Uncle Chad, but we never say that to his face. But we basically Uncle Chad, I'm just gonna say Michael Saylor for now. Michael Saylor, he invited us to his house to stay for the conference very kindly. And
which was an amazing
yeah,
experience.
it was really, 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 really amazing.
And there was a lot of other cool Bitcoiners that were sitting there at the same time. So it was very cool to meet them and yeah. So that
it
very
was
nice
amazing.
So you stayed in the plushest accommodation in Miami, basically. Did you guys get to go on the Did you get to go on the yacht trip with RFK?
We didn't, but we kind of crashed it afterwards. We were coming back basically while he was on the yacht. We were on jet skis with Daddy Samuel, our little brother, and Uncle Blank, so John Vallis, and we were all zooming out in like Miami Bay, having like the best time of our lives. And then we realized that we had to get back because we had this yacht dinner or something. I can't remember what it was. And we were driving back on the jet skis. I was driving with my dad on the back, and like we see loads of people on this gigantic yacht, and this man, like obviously really important man in the middle, like giving a speech. So we look at each other, we're like, hang on a minute, that's RFK. And you can actually see it in some tweets.
Someone took a
videos of like us coming in the background on jet skis at the back of RFK's school.
Worst part was John Vallis, he was staying in the yacht and he had to go in shirtless with everyone all dressed up very fancy. To get changed, to get into his room.
So that, like, we weren't there, but we were there at the same time. We were there, but we didn't need to be there.
You were just photobombing from the background. I love that. That's such a great story.
Yeah, it's a bit embarrassing. He was announcing his presidential campaign for like 2024, and we were in the background riding on the yacht. So oh well.
Did you guys manage to do any of the talks in Miami? Like, did you see any of the talks that were going on while you were there?
Safedines.
We saw Safedines. We saw the panel hosted by my dad with I believe it was Corey and Safedine talking. I wanted to go see RFK's, but I can't remember what we were doing. We were busy with Safedine. Safedine kept us busy.
Did you sell many books for Safedine?
Yeah, we sold quite a lot.
Yeah.
Good work. Okay, well that's great. It sounds like you had an amazing time. So Lauren, you were recently actually presenting at BTC Prague. So could you talk about how that came about and about that experience?
What do you mean on how that came about? Sorry.
Well, how did you get the invite to speak? I mean, I'm guessing they approached your dad and said, would it be okay for Lauren to come and host this panel? Was that how it happened? And like, what was the experience like?
I don't know what happened. My dad just told me that I'm hosting a panel in Prague. And he just kind of like, you're hosting a panel in Prague. What? But
so you didn't get a choice. This was imposed on you.
I was fine with it. I think he asked me or something. I can't really remember. But I was hyped to do it, and I couldn't wait. And then the day came, and then I was like,
watched it.
Is it even out yet?
I believe so, but I haven't seen it.
I'm not sure if it is.
There were clips of it throughout the conference for sure. So yeah, I think the whole video is out, but there were definitely clips and photos from it. Who was on the panel again? Can you remind me? So you had Joe Hall and your dad, and who else was on there?
And I know who he is. He's Italian. Giacomo?
Giacomo Zucco.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think it's Giacomo. Yeah, I'm positive. If not, then oh well.
Can you talk about what the panel was about? Like, what was the theme? What kind of questions did you ask them?
So the panel was called Explain Bitcoin to Me Like I'm a 12-year-old. So I was just basically asking them either serious things about Bitcoin or like weird thing, like silly things about Bitcoin. Like if you had any pet, what would you call what Bitcoin theme name would you call that pet? Like some of those questions, and then some of like, oh, what's your favorite thing about Bitcoin and stuff. And yeah, it was pretty fun. I would definitely do it again, probably on the little stage again, because I need to get used to the stage part.
Were you nervous?
What did you find that the stage was too big?
No, I found the stage fine. I wasn't nervous at all. It was just going over with Joe Hall where to sit and when to go on, and then him going on first, and then noticing that he screwed it all up. Yes.
Sorry, did you just say that Joe Hall screwed it all up?
Yeah, screwed up going on the stage, even though we went over it like 4 times. It was hilarious.
Why? Sorry, were you supposed to enter the stage before him?
Yeah, me, and then Joe Hall and Giacomo, and then my dad. But then Joe was like, and then Joe understood that he was going on first, and then, oh well, it was really funny.
Sounds like you needed a stage manager.
But yeah, that was really that was a fun part, and
That's such a Joe thing.
it is.
So Kaitlyn, you're going to be hosting the BP UK Bitcoin Policy UK podcast soon. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and how that came about and what your thoughts are about doing that? Because you're kind of launching, I guess, your podcast career now as well.
Yeah, which is very exciting but nerve-wracking at the same time. So I'm kind of, I don't know how to explain it. I was approached by, well, yourself, to come and help, I don't know, host a podcast and kind of like help promote the global adoption of Bitcoin in the UK, I'm guessing. And so I'm gonna be interviewing the main people who work in this institution. And just kind of like try and get like the key points of their work through and help people understand that it's very important to promote Bitcoin. And yeah,
it's pretty important for the UK actually. Yeah, so we're looking forward to having you do that. And I think we've got the first recording in about. No pressure indeed.
I think I'm really excited to do this because I think the UK has been given a second chance during this post-Brexit period. And I think they need all the help. Well, the country needs all the help they need to kind of like get to like a good economy and stuff like that. So I'm glad to help with this.
Yeah, that's really great that you're doing your part. It's fantastic. What do you guys think about having careers in Bitcoin? And because you've both had a lot of exposure at a very young age to the Bitcoin space, you've met lots of prominent Bitcoiners. You know, you've both had some sort of public-facing roles in the Bitcoin space at conferences, both presenting and working the stands with Saifedean. What are your thoughts about having a career in Bitcoin? Is it something that you're excited to do? To either of you, I don't.
Yeah, it is quite exciting.
I think Bitcoin is a very fast growing kind of industry, and so there's loads of loads of job opportunities and like consulting, finance, mining, technology, and stuff like that. And I think it's really interesting, and you can find a lot of jobs. I personally, I am planning to do my I'm planning to go to university and study international relations, and if I can kind of use that international relations to go on to a Bitcoin job after that, I think that could be really interesting too. So yeah, so I think, I don't know, we'll just see where
Well,
we
yeah,
go.
we'll see when our life plans out for us.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
it's definitely a very interesting space. Now dad is kind of like pushing us to go towards this thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah.
But yeah, luckily, our dad is pushing us because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but I think it's good that he is letting us try out something new.
Yeah, I mean, Lauren, you've been podcasting for a while then. Is it something that you think you'd enjoy as a full-time career?
Yeah, maybe, probably. One day, all the Bitcoiners are like, Lauren, you should take over the podcast. I'm just like, not now, because I still like people see. I don't have as much experience as a lot of people think I have much experience. I I don't have the experience on like scheduling calls with my people that I'm going to interview, guests, excuse me, and like with the time zones, and I don't have the experience with the Zoom setting up. I mean, I can set up the mic, but this is only an easy mic, like yeah, yeah, and yeah, I don't have that experience yet, but hopefully I could maybe make a podcast or even take over this one.
Interesting. With the guests that you've interviewed, is there anyone that you have not interviewed that you would really like to interview? You've obviously met a bunch of Bitcoiners at different conferences. Is there somebody that you'd like to put on the podcast? Oh, silence.
Let's see if I can remember some of those people.
I feel like Daddy's kind of done a pretty good job on interviewing most people possible.
Yeah, most of the people I meet at the conference are the people that were on our podcast.
Okay, so you've already met everybody. You're just too professional. You're too well known.
Yeah, but like I said earlier, I have a problem on remembering people and their names. So I really need to get better at remembering people because it's just so annoying that I can't remember them. I hate it when I can't.
I'm sure you will. I mean, it's a lot of people to meet. So you guys were both homeschooled, and I really wanted to cover that topic with you as well, because I think that's really interesting and it speaks a little bit as well to your experiences in Bitcoin. Could you talk about kind of, did you ever go to regular school before you were homeschooled, and what was that experience like, to transition?
Yeah, so we were living in Singapore beforehand. I went to very swish international school, which was amazing, and I loved the education there. But then I went to a local school in Singapore, and that was just so different. Very like robotic and very it was really, really hard. You guys, did you go to school? You went to
We went to daycare
in Singapore.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really count really. But when we left Singapore, I was at the age of 8, maybe a bit younger than that. And so we were homeschooled for 2.5 years. And honestly, it was a great experience. It was amazing. And we learned so much just in the space of like 2 hours, 2 years and a half. And I remember like my parents weren't too on top of it. Like it wasn't like we would have a timetable, like we'll wake up at 9 a.m, do maths for an hour, then English for 2 hours. Like we had nothing like that. It was just kind of like go with the flow. We'd probably do like a bit of math book or something like that a day, and then go discover like a beautiful, like the Colosseum in Rome or something like that.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And then coming back from homeschooling, I started school in France, and I was not behind at all in anything, in maths, in science, in nothing at all. I was on top of everything, and I think homeschooled actually, being homeschooled actually really helped me discover new things and helped me keep an open mind, and that's probably why I learned French so quickly. So yeah, what do you
And
think?
so you were traveling while you were being homeschooled, is that right? So you were having an experience
Yeah.
of kind of seeing the world and also doing the homeschooling. And who actually did the schooling? Like, is there a set curriculum that you can follow remotely? Like, how does that work? Was your mum sitting down with you and your dad for like periods of time going through maths and English and things like that? Or how did I know you said it was quite unstructured, but who was actually delivering the teaching, I guess, and with what curriculum?
So it was just I remember you and Samuel, you were really young, so you didn't really do anything. But me and Sophia, who was 15 now, so it was kind of at the age where we needed to start learning things too. It was just our parents that would just sit down with us. We didn't do anything. We didn't follow any curriculum, nothing at all. And they would just sit down with us and just do. We would buy like little workbooks that you can find like in a stationery shop like down the road, and then just do little like math exercises. And I mean, I remember absolutely hating it, really, really hating it because I hate doing maths. But there was no pressure on it too. It was just like, just go with the flow. Today we wanted to learn. Like, I remember going somewhere, like maybe going to like a national park in New Zealand or something like that, and then start like noticing that there was so many different spirals and different plants. And then we started getting into the Fibonacci spiral and stuff like that. And it was just kind of like, okay, that's cool. Let's learn about that today. And it was
Oh,
really,
okay. So
really
it's very organic like that. Yeah. That's fascinating. And how about you, Lauren? How's your experience been then with doing that? Do you have much recollection of that? And are you still homeschooled now?
Yeah, so I was really, really young, so I didn't really do anything. I just
yeah, you were
ate.
like 3,
Yeah,
weren't you?
I
So
just ate, pooped, and sleep. That's all I did. But when we came to France, we went back into the French system and French school system to learn the language. And when COVID hit, the teachers were sending emails to the parents to say, okay, so this is what you're gonna do with your child today. This, and this, and this. And we were just like, no. Because like it was really hard. My mom and dad couldn't speak French. Yeah, and like keep French up. I'd speak French fluently. I mean, they could speak French, but like not top notch. So we just were like, okay, we can go on this online school because my dad worked for them and helped them out a lot. So we went on there and tried that out, and well, ever since we've stayed there, and
Oh, cool. What's the online
yeah,
school program called that you do? Do you remember the name?
Kubro,
Sorry, what?
Kubrio, Kubrio, Kubrio.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Is that an international homeschooling program?
Yeah, it's everyone has to speak English, but they all come from like they come from everywhere.
And do you do like Zoom calls with the other students? Like, do you see the other students globally?
Yeah, some have a lot of them have their cameras off because Wi-Fi, or they just don't really want to turn it on, stuff like that. But I see most of the students most of the time, and yeah, I have calls with my best friend that well now lives in Australia, but yeah.
Oh, so you have these whole like international friend groups as well.
Yeah, it's like yeah, I have there's students everywhere in the world.
And typically, like with your friends that are part of this school program, why are they being homeschooled? Is it just that their parents prefer the curriculum, or is it because they're a traveling family? Like, do you know like what the situation is for some of your friends without doxing them, obviously?
Well, probably I haven't really asked them that question because it's a lot. Some people don't really want to go into it because the experience that they have at school was very it wasn't very nice. It was horrible and traumatic, yeah. And they don't really want to go into that. And I've asked many people, and they're just like, just answer that. I'm just like, okay. So I kind of stopped asking people why they came together to Cubrio, but
there's also a lot of kids who go to Cubrio because homeschooling is illegal in their country. There's also kids who have been bullied at school had that traumatic experience. They go onto Cubrio, and then there's also like traveling families, and then there's also because maybe they just don't fit into
I didn't fit into the school system.
Yeah, and that's why you
you didn't fit into the school system. Yeah, I can imagine you're too confident. So what does that mean for your French though, Lauren? So where are you getting exposure to learn French? Do you sort of have friends that you can speak French with? Do you do classes, or are you not too concerned about reaching Kaitlyn's standards of French speaking? Who speaks the best French, by the way, in the family?
Yeah, Kaitlyn. Kaitlyn speaks the best. And then it's Sophia, and then it's me and Senna.
Yeah.
Ty. We have a French tutor that comes, and we have an hour with her, and we learn French we learn French with her. And I do have French friends, but most of them, they don't really have time because of school, homework, and I have an English friend that I spend most of the time with because I don't know, because she has more time.
Oh, cool.
Wednesday afternoon. What do you do Wednesday afternoon?
Horse riding, that's it. Yeah, I do horse riding, and I have French friends there that I speak French with. Well, I kind of have to, and
so you ride horses? That's amazing! Wow. How long have you been doing that?
I've been riding for 8 years now, and you for like probably 4 or 5.
Yeah, I would say 4, 3.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Oh, so you're both pretty decent then, I imagine. Do you compete, or are you just doing lessons and doing it for pleasure?
I've chosen not to compete because I get very anxious.
Stressful.
So I get very anxious, but also it takes up a lot of time. So it kind of means that like most weekends you have to wake up at like 5 a.m. to go pick up your horse and take them like 3 hours across the country to like this competition. So I chose to kind of just like do it for fun, really.
Yeah.
And we do it in very nice stables with very nice horses and very nice teachers, and it's just a great experience. I love horse riding.
Yeah, I think we're both pretty decent, but I don't know, my skill has gone down a lot, probably because we've been traveling most of the time and we've missed a lot, and I've missed a lot of lessons, so I've missed a lot of that, and I've just gone down, like.
I'm sure you'll pick it back up. I've done a little bit of horse riding myself. I'm not very good, but I really enjoy it. I just love the whole experience. It's such a great thing to do. Do you have the same horse that you ride every time for the lesson?
No, it changes. I mean, sometimes the teacher just sticks you with that one horse to get used to it, and then you know how to ride it. That's what happened to me. I got stuck to this one horse like for like months. And I know how to control him best in my horse riding group. But I can't really control any other horse because I've been with that one horse for so long. I haven't really been on the other horses, so I can't really control them as much as I can control the other horse.
But they try and change it up a bit so we can get used to well, in my class, because we're not in the same class, obviously.
So are you in different classes because you're at different levels, or is it divided by age group? Okay.
No, levels.
They care about the level, not much about the age.
Yeah, they kind of evaluate on that.
Interesting. Wow, that's really fun. Do you guys have any other hobbies that you do then outside of your now Bitcoin jobs?
I do drama.
Is it, when you say drama, do you mean you're studying acting specifically?
Like theater. We play games and then we do plays, but I missed the last play because I was in Spain. Oh no, I was in Spain. What a shame. On the beach.
I was going to say, you were like, oh no, I was in Miami on a yacht.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hilarious. So I guess any closing thoughts then? I mean, what's next on the horizon for you guys? So obviously, Kaitlyn, you've got your Bitcoin Policy UK podcast that you're launching. Lauren, you're doing your drama, your horse riding. You've got your existing podcast that you may or may not take over completely from your dad. What else is on the horizon for you guys in terms of plans and career ambitions and things like that?
So I've just graduated high school. I sat my last exam, I think it was Tuesday actually. So yeah, so now I'm completely done and I'm just really excited to get started with my own life and make my own choices and start building like who I actually am. So next year I'm taking a gap year. So that's gonna be very exciting for me. I'm gonna go traveling and then I'm gonna do internships in the US with probably Bitcoin companies, and then I'm going to go to university. So yeah, that's very exciting, but I'm also very excited to start like in the Bitcoin world too, because it's just so interesting to learn new things, and I'm really happy that I can try and help make a difference, and I hope I will. So we'll see.
Amazing. How about you, Lauren?
I think I'm just gonna travel. I think our family's just gonna travel around most of the time to go to all the conferences. I don't really know what's gonna go ahead.
Go to the most Bitcoin conferences possible.
Yeah, probably do that.
Do you think, Lauren, you'll be doing some more speaking engagements at future conferences?
Hopefully.
I think Daddy mentioned, I'm not sure if it's still the case, but Daddy mentioned he asked us if we wanted to talk at the Surfing Bitcoin in Biarritz in the south of France this summer. I would love to go do that and do a talk there, but I think I'm working actually, so I don't think I'll be able to make it. But I think that will be really cool.
I don't think I said yes to that because my French is still rusty.
Yeah, so that would have been in French.
Yeah, and Bitcoin is very technical, and I don't know like the very technical French words yet, like very complicated French words. So I would probably have no idea what they'll say most of the time. But,
Yeah, fair. Is there anything that you guys observe sort of in the Bitcoin community, because you've had a lot of exposure to it? Is there anything that the Bitcoin community could do better in terms of communicating the value of Bitcoin to the general population?
I think they're all trying their best now. I think
I
don't think there's anything.
I think it's very good that people are just like, there's so many books, there's so many podcasts that anyone can just tune into. And like Lauren said, Bitcoin is a very technical concept, but I think there's Bitcoiners are doing a great job in trying to make it easier for other people to understand, which is very, very
thoughtful.
Yeah, thoughtful. But yeah, I'm trying to think. But and also the fact that there's conferences. I think that's another good thing about Bitcoin, because it's accessible for anyone to use basically and learn about.
Yeah, anybody can opt in. Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you. This has been really great. It's so great to chat to you guys again. It was lovely to meet you in Miami. And Kaitlyn, we're really looking forward to working with you. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we're very excited about that. And Lauren, well done on everything that you're doing. At 12 years old, your career is already reaching immense heights. So I hope that just continues onwards and upwards. And I mean, thank you guys. It's been such a pleasure talking to you. You're both absolutely wonderful, such competent young ladies. And I wish you all the best with your Bitcoin future careers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. It's been a real pleasure.